And they're off! Both starting in the Sanctuary. Only a red rupee, though.
I wonder if this is going to be a Houlihan play.
I would bet if they're starting from there.
Yeah, it seems to be the normal starting position for every racer in Keysanity. I think it definitely has something to do with, there are more items now in the general pool, so the chances of grabbing a 300 rupee drop is much slimmer.
Sure. And sure enough, it is indeed a Houlihan play.
And despite them starting at the same time, just having a slightly, extra knowledge about how to set up the Houlihan to save you from going into that one cave, gives Ack a little bit of a head start.
How tricky? Sorry, go ahead.
No. How tricky is it to set up?
Yeah, that particular one, because I've always done the one from the graveyard.
It's really easy. Like, if you can just do what Kepasagi did, and you go into the cave, and that resets the camera, and then when you walk down, you hop in the water 3 times, and then you're good to go. And then you can save a little bit of extra time when you're walking east to get to Houlihan, you hug the graveyard, like the top of the screen, or the top of or up against like the fence of the graveyard. And for whatever reason, that works too. Oh, nice. And Ack getting a very friendly bomb drop and bombs from the bush. So he's got 2 to go, so he can go do Maze Race if that ends up being something.
Only heard from the tree pull so far on Kepasagi's side.
And we did get 1 pod small key in Link's house, so that's something we got to keep track of. Ooh, nice 50 rupees from the uncle. Still looking for that Zora money, so... And another 50 from the secret passageway chest. Oh, and a moon pearl from the maze race.
Ooh. We just need a couple more things for Dark World access now.
Yeah, just need a glove and a hammer, or 2 gloves, and then we're good to go. Yeah, you do see a lot of players will opt to just go ahead and go right into the maze race, not check it first, just because in Keysanity, there's so many more items in the pool, so it's far more often to be something required, or at least something of interest like a small key. We only saw rupees in the library, so we get boots, we might get that later, but probably not.
Looks like we're gonna see what the Lumberjack has soon.
Nice big 20 drop from the bush crab, so that's going to give Kepasagi their Zora money, as well as bomb money, while Ack is over on the left side buying more bombs.
Lumberjack has a compass. I don't think we're going to be seeing that one.
Probably not. Yeah, both players basically making the Kakariko route. 1 player coming from the south, 1 player coming from the north. So we'll see what else is in Kakariko to determine if... Oh, wow. Oh, there's a hammer. So that's 1 more Dark World item. So we just gotta find the gloves in here, and then we have Dark World access, like, less than 5 minutes in. Easy game. And there are a lot of chests left in Kakariko, so...
Small key to Palace of Darkness in the Thief Hut.
Small key to T-Rock in the bottom of the well. 2 pod keys already. Interesting.
We got a map of Mire and the fire rod in the well too.
Well, the nice thing is we got weapons. We got hammer, we got fire rod. Makes me wonder when we're gonna find our first sword.
Maybe soon. Could be here.
Well, that is a very convenient bomb grab from Kepasagi to not have to go buy bombs. Oh, there's a 300, so...
I guess that's the rest of our Zora money now, and that'll easily cover everything else too.
So will that. All right, so for these players, the question is, what is the next play? Do you go? I would assume they have options. They can either go to Hyrule Castle, they can go do the South Shore trip, Dam, Mini Moldorn. With the Flipper or the Moon Pearl, they can do some of the fake Flipper water walk shenanigans, or you can always just make a beeline straight to Sahasrara and go to Eastern Palace. Plenty of options.
I'd probably knock out the South Shore with the Mini Moldorm and Ice Caves.
For sure. It's usually the standard.
Yeah, if the route ain't broken, don't fix it.
Exactly. And sometimes, when you play this game, you kind of have to look at what your opponent does in these tournament matches and get an idea of like, all right, so they usually route this at this point. So if I want to stay, if I want to stick with them, I either need to follow in their lead or do something crazy that might get me a lead. But it looks like Ack's going to be taking the Hyrule Castle play. He does have firepower, not only in the form of, well, he needs some magic for that fire rod, but he does have that hammer. He'd probably go into Hyrule Castle.
He hasn't visited Uncle yet, though, so that's actually a smart play. Very good routing.
Yo, nice double kill right there.
Gets the guaranteed magic from those 2 pots there. Always gonna find it.
Now with 4 hearts, and 3 of those 4 hearts, I'd be interested to see if, 4 of those 4 hearts, be interested to see if he intends to do any sort of like death warp at the ball and chain guy to go check that one sewer chest.
It might depend on what's in Zelda's cell, I'd imagine. Like, if the mirror's there, they'll mirror.
Well, yeah. He does have a fire rod, so if he wants to go that route, he can light the torches along the way to make getting that chest a little bit easier. But 4 hearts is a little scary. A little bit.
That is true, since it would be a sequence break to do the back end of Escape.
Kepasagi now about to go get their Moon Pearl. Be interested to see where they go to next. Probably a save and quit. Maybe down to South Shore. Hyrule Castle might not be an interest to them since they had already done Uncle. But who knows? Yeah, it looks like Ag has taken a few extra hits just to set that up. So we'll probably be seeing a Death Warp unless something changes. Some more bombs for your trouble. Kepasagi gonna be heading to the dam. 2 items coming up.
Nothing too extravagant yet on Kepasagi's side from the dam. Oh, a swag net. You need that to finish the game, from what I understand.
Alright, there's that Death Warp. Oh, and there's the Cane of Samaria. In the dam. Sunken treasure.
Red cane, nice.
Still don't know if we're going to be needing that, but it's always nice to get that one out of the way. Yeah, unless Sewer Chest is holding something, this Hyrule Castle play's not really paying out for Acktheboker.
Well, the net, man. You can't go without the net.
No. I'm sorry, but no. Kepasagi's gonna have to be careful. It's sitting at 1 heart, and those mini Moldorns do a lot of damage, and hammer strats are just not optimal or effective against these guys.
They just aren't. I miss having hook shot for places like this.
Yeah, if only he had a little extra magic to use the fire rod on these guys. He's got 3 bombs left, so he needs to Don't do it. Just use the bomb. Just use the bomb. Please just use the bomb.
Oh, we
the
have a book!
Well, that's a huge sequence break. So I don't think he should act on it anytime soon. And there's the mirror.
Key to
There's small
T-Rock.
key.
Another key to Skull Woods. Well, those are nice to have for better routing, but...
Another pod key. Oh, man. So that's 3 pod keys. 2 total T-Rock keys that we've seen, and 1 Skull Woods now. I'm starting to get an idea of where this game might be wanting them to go at some point soon.
What's your idea?
Probably, I don't know. Pod? Do you do pod when you get the chance?
I'd say if you get the 4th key, maybe.
Ooh. Kepasagi, go grab that bush. Or walk around, there you go. That's so scary. Now it'll be curious. I don't think Ack is gonna take that book and go straight to desert.
It wouldn't make sense to.
Especially because, oh no. Sniped
I mean,
by an Octorok.
He does have the fire rod, so he could clear it, though it would be tough with only regular magic and the hammer. That would be a very tough Lamellus.
I mean, if this was open mode, I'd totally go for it. But he's only going to be able to check one item in the dungeon, or get one item in the dungeon, check one item in the dungeon, and then see what's on the desert ledge. So I would keep looking. Maybe you can find like the small key, or maybe even the big key. Go from there.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, you don't want to steal a key.
No, I don't think stealing a key in Keysanity is ever a good idea. Unless you intend on doing a soft reset to get that key back. Alright, Kepasagi. Find out that green pendant is, in fact, at Skull Woods, which, of course, you get the fire rods, so, of course, Skull Woods has to be a pendant. Probably very excited to get those bombs back in the back of Sahasrah's hut, so... Gonna find out soon, hopefully, unless Acktheboker also gets sniped by an Octorok. Oh, God. What Kepasagi missed in the Ice Rod Cave, and then we're more than likely gonna see some sort of fake flipper water walk shenanigans. Either to Hobo or at least, Zora's Domain. Ooh, okay.
The jukes! The jukes!
Oh, man. So at this point, you gotta be thinking there's gotta be a glove somewhere soon. I could even see something as crazy as, like, a flute to go, like, up to Death Mountain, mirror up to Hera, and then there's a glove, like, in Hera, in the 2 chests that you can get to. Oh, that's nice. Oh, or there's just the glove right there. Okay, so first chest of Eastern Palace grants Kepasagi their access to the Dark World.
We got glove love here now.
Just like that. Heck, you could even just walk down and go straight into the Dark World and go straight up to Pod. If you're crazy enough.
Looking like Ack trying to set up her fake flipper.
Yeah, moving like 1 pixel to the right or left is just moving like slight pixels is really annoying. Oh,
Silver arrows! I think we will be seeing that pickup from Ack later. It looked like it just an arrow refill on the island in the lake.
It was a blue potion, in fact, which we haven't seen a potion yet. So, but of course we're at least 1 item away from getting that. Oh no! Oh,
that hurts.
Oh,
I used to be an adventurer like you, and then he took an arrow to the face.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt. He could have shot him shot it into the water, and then still hit his knee. If we want to go that route.
Key to Ice Palace in Eastern, and Kepasagi's piecing out because he doesn't want to handle the Dark Room in Eastern.
Well, it looks like Ack's gonna be making his way over there next.
We might see him do the Dark Room, though. I mean, if he got the book, why not?
He actually took the time to get out his hammer just to kill that archer and get his revenge. That's good. That's good stuff. All right, back of escape. Let's see what our next progression is here, if any. We have Dark World access. So the question is, do you go Hype Cave first, or do you go Village of Outcasts route? Well, there's the flippers. More Zora money, and a big key to Thieves Town.
I think the play now is Village of Outcasts with that big key. Sure, you
gotta
can't
be
get the
thinking
big chest, but you can clear out the rest.
Yeah, the question is, when do you act upon those flippers, though? If you want to go like Zora's Domain or anything like that, and looks like Kepasagi might be making that play. I mean, it's a bit of a walk, between Hobo and Zora's Domain, but he's got to be curious about what he missed in the Ice Rod Cave. Probably going to be seeing the Dark Room from Acktheboker here in Eastern Palace, so we'll see what Kepasagi may or may not have missed. Yeah, I gotta say, pretty generous seed so far. Relatively early Dark World access.
Just a little love from the Hobo.
Well, that's a relief for Ack. Until he goes back there and gets it.
At least this way, Kepasagi will be able to do this all in one shot without having to do it multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Well, opting not to go to the Ice Rod Cave. Which, the only thing he's going to be missing out from that is a map to, I believe it was Swamp Palace.
Yeah, it was.
Some bombs, and a big 20. So,
Too valuable.
See if Zora or the Ledge has anything of value. And then I assume it'd be a trip to Village of Outcasts next. That Thieves Town big key's got to be sending you in that direction in general.
Zora Ledge with just bombs, so I don't think we'll be picking those up. What does the King Zora have for us today? It is a small key.
To
Palace of Darkness. That's the fourth one.
You gotta be thinking about that one. 4 keys.
But at the same time, you gotta. They probably have to be thinking, not until I have the lamp yet.
Yeah, that's true. But what if the lamp's there?
Well, there's only a handful of places it could be, even if it is in Palace of Darkness.
Well, we are going to get that Hype Cave check immediately from Kepasagi, so...
Is it going to be hype, or is it going to be disappointment? We don't know! Let's find out together! And a map check, and Myers a pendant, so... we may not need that red cane quite yet. We don't know about Turtle Rock, though.
Yeah, hopefully Kepasagi decides to talk to the old bomb shop guy, find out where the Pyramid Fairy crystals are. Just a little bit extra information. And fortunately, also for Kepasagi, the only thing he missed out on in Eastern Palace Dark Room was a small shield.
Key to Tower of Hera. That's important. Blue mail, a red rupee, bomb upgrade, and half magic.
Oof, I'd say that's a reasonably hype cave. Blue mail and half magic, especially this early, is nice. Now, the thing is,
I'd call it the Dark World care package, if you will.
It's not bad. The Tower of Hera small key, they do have access to Tower of Hera, but you probably want to wait until you get that big key before you make that play.
Opting not to check the bomb shop. Looking like he's making his way to the Lake of Ill Omen to visit the catfish. Or the pyramid.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if Kepasagi decides to mirror and do the front part of Hyrule Castle since he hasn't done that yet.
I guess that's fair too.
Now would kind of be the time if you were to. You either have to or you skip it entirely.
Meanwhile, a mag check on Axe side and Swamp is a crystal, so those flippers are gonna be very useful, and we gotta find the hook shot soon.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we're still looking for that Swamp Palace small key, and there's no idea when we're going to find that, but is this going to be the pod play already?
With 4 keys, if you're well skilled and don't need to go down the right side, there could be a lot of opportunity.
I'm curious. Well, we already saw Kepasagi skip out on the Dark Room in Eastern, so... Speaking of Eastern and Ice Palace will be our Crystals 5 and 6 today. So...
Interesting.
And Acktheboker decided to go left. He's going to be making his way to Stumpy, South of Grove Cave, and the Digging Game. And then we'll probably mirror to go up to do Village of Outcasts, which I like that route.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, he's going to be taking that book that he sequence broke to get to go find out what's on Bombos first. A little bit out of the way, and he can't actually get the item, but he can get that sweet, sweet info. Unless
but isn't something that we absolutely need.
Alright, it's going to be interesting to see how Kepasagi routes Dark Palace.
A heart container on Bombos. Kind of found that curious there that when he was checking Bombos, he probably chose not to route to the desert cave there.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he wanted to retain his Dark World portal. And I think he also wanted to, well, I don't know. Yeah, he could have done that and then just saved and quit and gone back. Gotta be a little careful here. 2 hearts. He does have blue mail, but these things still hurt.
Yeah, kind of a rich seed, but very unhealthy right now.
Oh, another heart container. Is this going to give him a full health? Nope, still need a couple more. Maybe one more.
Thankfully, there's hearts under those pots, so not a big loss.
The nice thing is for Kepasagi is he does have the fire rod, and there are torches in that room that he can light. Small key to G Tower.
Well, at least it's not going to be a flawless run, a mad dash to find those keys, if
There's
you will.
the swamp key, though. That's pretty big.
On X side?
On Kepasagi's side. He had to use a small key to get it. But if you're not comfortable with those dark rooms, I don't think this was the best play to make.
That dark maze particularly scares me.
Oh, first dig. What are you doing, Ack? Go get it. That might be useful. The madman.
You don't know. There could be a list of the most remembered dwarven vows on there.
Could be useful. Only a heart piece. I guess the other side of this route, Kepasagi decided to save his small key and skip out on that vanilla big key chest. But yeah, that was a bit of a bust. The thing is, with 4 keys, if you go in there with the bow, you can actually full clear all the dungeon if you know the hammer jump and you just keep on taking the bow route over and over again.
Yeah, otherwise you need 5.
Yeah.
You'll have to take a longer route to do it every time, but you'll at least be able to only skip out on 1 key.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the logic requires you to have 6 keys in order to defeat Helmassar and stay within the logic. But more often than not, players do not do that or follow that rule.
Looks like we're getting the Village of Outcasts play from Ack.
As well as from Kepasagi, so we'll see if either of them decides to... Well, they can't do all of Skullwoods. They still need a sword. They could still do portions of it, but opting to go ahead and do the route that you can do. But I gotta say, man, 6 hearts, even with blue mail, Thieves Town can be a little scary. Especially with those safeties.
Dark World enemies hit like a truck, even with blue mail and this much health right now.
And especially if you're going to be fighting blind with Kana Samaria or Hammer. That it does not sound like an entertaining fight when you only have 6 hearts or 5.
Funnily enough, I had the pleasure of watching that during a race I commentated the other day. There's a bottle!
Well, that'll be a nice check, real quick, and very convenient.
I guess we won't be picking up that island bottle unless they're really hard-pressed for it. Sick Kid having just some more health.
That's nice. That's really nice to have. Yeah, the only way I could see them ever getting that Lake Hylia bottle is if they go from like Swamp straight to Ice Palace in some way. Pick that up and then mirror to go into Ice Palace.
It is a blue potion, though. They might be more tempted for it. 2 bottles. Okay, I guess we're not going to be going to that island now.
Yeah, and that's always a scary thing, though. Oh. Going into Thieves Town without that small key, you got to be thinking, please don't be anything in there so I don't have to come back, because that's one of the less enjoyed double dips that you might have to do, especially if you don't have boots.
Really? I would have thought that ice was a tough one. Speaking of ice, we find the ice rod!
Yeah, going back into Ice Palace to check the big chest, or going back into Thieves to check the big chest, going back into T-Rock to check the vanilla big key chest, or Mimic Cave in certain scenarios. Yeah, not fun. Nobody likes to do that.
Big key to Tower of Hera now. That's on the table now.
Yeah, they can do all of that. They do every little bit of that. They have the small key and the big key for it, so I could easily see that being the next play.
Technically, it would still be a sequence break because they still don't have the lamp, though.
True, unless we find it in here, which I'm starting to lean towards that being an option. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting dungeon with the Hammer. I am curious to see if we're going to see Hammer or Kane strats for blind from these players. Kane is kind of nice because you could just kind of plop it on the ground and walk away. Just kind of stand away, stand in the back, and let blind kind of take himself out.
Well, no reason not to do it. After all, they do have half magic. Act well handily taking care of that hallway. That's always a tricky one from what I've seen.
Oh man, Kepasagi opting not to go into the back half. Maybe not comfortable with the equipment that they have for this boss.
Maybe they're holding off until they find the small key so they can full clear it?
Also a possibility. Hopefully this doesn't, bite them in the butt too much, but we'll find out. Small key 2. Ice Palace. All right, well, that's going to make for some nicer routing later on. The thing is, for Kepasagi, what do they do after they're done making their trip around here? Oh, there's the Thieves Town map. Check it. Check the map. You want to know.
I guess we won't be seeing anytime soon.
Oh, it is a crystal. So that's good for Ack.
Maybe Ack just knew.
He had a feeling.
Maybe he's got that ESPN.
Maybe. Well, let's talk about this. Some other options we still have. We still have the Skullwoods area. We do have Agnes Cave. There's a small key to GT, which is not very interesting. Yeah. Where the heck's that lamp? Unless Blind has it. Alright, well, this should be an exciting fight. Let's see what Acktheboker has in store for us today. Nice. First phase. Or cycle, I guess. Since the phases are all the same. Ooh, nice hitbox.
That hammer, though.
It's so great. Best weapon in the game. That's 2 cycles. Seems like he has this in the bag. Oh, too fast for you.
Swing and a miss. But
There
he
you go.
recovers. What does Blind have for us? A map to Hyrule Castle. That's not what you want to see.
Alright, well that means that Lamp's gotta be... Lamp or Flute has to be in Skull Woods. Or at Agnes Cave. We really just... We don't have that many options left. So
Or it could be redeemed from the Green Pendant, which is at Skullwoods.
Maybe we'll find our first sword over there, too. Kepasagi seeming to not know what they want to do. A couple save and quits.
With the way Axe going, it might be Bumper Cave and then Graveyard Ledge check.
If you can make it past this red guard.
Or he's just going to go to Skullwoods instead.
It's like Kepasagi is going to be making the Hyrule Castle play. We know it didn't amount to anything other than a book, but since they haven't done really any of the dark rooms, probably going to walk away without getting that book. Yeah, depending on what Ack finds here, it's probably going to be a Bumper Cave Lumberjack, or Bumper Cave Graveyard Ledge check after this.
With that extra small key, Ack able to just enter the front and use it to not take the hole there on the left side.
There's our first Castle Tower key. We still don't have access to Castle Tower yet. We need 2 swords or at least a cape. But when we get those, our players will be able to actually... Well, Ack's going to be able to check both chests. There's
our
one
sword!
I say you go ahead and do all of Skull Woods then. Seems like a good play. And heck, we'll probably get a pedestal check out of this one as well.
Yeah, almost ready for pedestal hype and disappointment.
As is tradition.
Well, I don't know. Could be anything, even a sword.
Ooh.
Whoa, a hook shot! He's getting right out of there and probably moving right on into the back end now.
Well, this is interesting. If Kepasagi goes to Skull Woods, they'll get their sword and their hookshot. They have the Swamp Palace small key and flippers, so they would be able to go do Swamp Palace if they wanted to.
That's probably exactly what I would do, too.
You gotta remember that Swamp Palace small key was in the back of Palace of Darkness, which Kepasagi did make that trip over to. Well, I would state that Fighter Sword Mothula is kind of an obnoxious fight, but he does have half magic and fire rods. So
And a bee! Don't forget a bee!
I can't forget the bee. We don't know if it's a good bee, though. Good bee is the only bee I'll recognize. Hammer Moth. Oh boy.
Maybe he wants that tempered damage.
Well, as long as he can keep him, like, at the bottom half of the map.
Yeah, he can't do much of anything if he's gonna hug the top.
And quickly just switch into Fire Run.
I can't
You got
blame him.
a couple. You got one hit in, maybe two. That's not too bad.
Gotta remember though that a bottle of green goo was found, so maybe that's his play. Or not, saving it for a rainy day.
He's got it. Good work by Ack.
And what do we find? Just a little love. And we have our green pendant.
Well, here's something interesting. With that green pendant, once he goes back in and checks that other chest, it will kind of send him in the direction of possibly going into Pod to get that Swamp Palace small key. And Ack does know the dark rooms, so we're more than likely going to be seeing like Dark Maze and those two chests in the back of Pod that Kepasagi did skip out of. But with this route, we might also see Ack just opt to sequence break up to Death Mountain. So we'll see. Ooh, another pod key, so that's 5.
Yeah, that's more than enough to beat it. We just need the bow.
Yeah, Ack probably pretty happy to find that, because he'll be able to hammer jump to skip using 1 key, so then 5 is more than enough.
Oh! Big key to Palace of Darkness, pedestal required.
Alright, well, that sequence break to get the book is huge for Acktheboker. Because that's information that Kepasagi more than likely is not going to find during this quest through through Skull Woods. Now, we don't know if Palace of Darkness is required yet. So, we don't know if we actually need to get that big key, but it's pretty hype.
For all we know, maybe Helmasaur King is holding something.
That's very possible, too. If he's not holding a crystal, he might be holding something else required.
It's very true, because that really narrows down what could possibly be inside. I think the only information we're missing now is what the last pendant is.
Yeah, and once we find that out, then we'll be able to rule out the rest of the dungeons and start making our plays based on that, and we'll have a better idea of what we still need. We still need a lot of things.
Red Rupee on the Bumper Cave ledge, I don't think we're getting that anytime soon.
And it looks like Ack is not opting to sequence break up to Death Mountain. So, let's see what he does after checking North of Graveyard.
I think he wants his lamp before anything else. Well, lamp or bow.
The one interesting thing about sequence breaking up to Death Mountain is if you find the lamp on Death Mountain, then all of a sudden you know, okay, flute has to be somewhere available. So sometimes it's good to get that information, but it's interesting that how players will like pick and choose which things they want to sequence break.
Looking like the play is going to have to be into Swamp after getting the Swamp key from Palace of Darkness. Because I can't see any other play right now.
I'm getting a correction. You know, I've never actually seen all the pedestal texts for the game, for Keysanity, but apparently it did say Dark Forest. I saw the word dark and I assumed pod, but chat is correcting us. It was actually the Skull Woods big key, which is more than likely not going to be required, so apologize, guys.
Sorry, guys.
So excited.
You can put that one on me. I'm still green around the gills, if you will.
I did need to take a chance, sit down and take a look at all the pedestal text just so I knew. But it's pretty rare to see, you know, it's rare enough that pedestal seats are required. It's also rare that, you know, they have, you know, one of the small keys or big keys or whatnot. Catfish holding a small key to Hyrule Castle. Well, that's useless.
Not without the lamp, anyway. But you're right, it's still useless.
And I think... What was up here? I think it was a small key to something.
Is either a small key or a map? I can't remember which.
Yeah. You'd think for the text for Dark Forest or for Skull Woods, it would say something with Skull in the name, just to keep it consistent.
When I see Dark Forest, I feel compelled to say, but beware of the temple gods that might inhabit the trees.
What is that from?
Just a 90s reference. Chat'll probably know what's up if they get it.
Well, we still have quite a bit of stuff to get in the seed. Acktheboker with a slight lead. Comfortable lead.
I'd say a comfortable down that rabbit hole with the sequence breaking.
Opting to take on these dungeons with less equipment, while Kepasagi's been, put off Thieves Town because he didn't have a sword, probably, and opting to not go fight Mothula, so... Of course, I don't think... We haven't seen what Sahasrahla has yet, so... Opting to use the cane, both the Samaria block and the hammer, so... Double duty, but down to 3 hearts already. Kepasagi's gotta be careful.
What's the old man have for us? Just some arrows.
Ooh. One more hit to take out this cycle. Down to 1 heart. Oh! It's sniped by one of the floating heads.
I can't imagine there's not going to be anything that would be useful to him with how much sequence breaking there has been so far for Ack. Like, I can only consider that maybe a medallion, maybe the cape, or a fetch quest item would be up here. Speaking of...
We got the mushroom on Spec Rock. I feel like Ack's gonna opt to skip that red mail. Blue mail is pretty good. Or at least good enough.
And we'll also get an ether check, too.
I have a feeling... Well, based on the information that we have...
Just some money.
The lamp could either be that one vanilla big key chest in pod that was skipped, or it could be in Swamp Palace. That is possible. Though a little bit of a convoluted way to get there.
Getting a nice health refill from the heart piece pickup there in the front part of Tower of Hera. And I think you're ready for a coffee break, are you?
I think so. I'll be right back.
Make mine decaf. The 4th bottle on Kepasagi's side in the first chest is Swamp. All that waiting for not too much reward for Ack, and Kepasagi finding a heart piece in that chest after the first chest inside Swamp.
Oh man, I wasn't fast enough. They didn't make it back before the towel room finished. Darn it.
Did you literally get a cup of coffee?
I sure did. That's the coffee break.
I didn't think you were gonna take it seriously.
Nah, of course I am. Gotta stay hydrated.
Thankfully, you didn't miss much.
Ack, what are you doing? I guess this is if he gets this, it's faster than hookshot across because he'd still have to like fall down. What's boots
he
right
doesn't
here?
have the boots.
Big 20. Yeah, this is kind of the other side of the sequence break is that, as you were saying, they're not supposed to be here yet, so there's a good chance that it might not lead to anything. But at the same time, I feel like lamp sequence breaks are probably like a safer sequence break to make. Using some bumper strats.
Yeah, along with some lag, but... And now we have Moldorm. How trolly are we gonna be today? Not very trolly, evidently enough.
Hit him in the face, too.
That thing had a family!
He's dead now. It's okay, he comes back in Moldorm 2, the Revenge. So...
I always thought it was Moldorm 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, that one. Alright, well, here's the thing. Kepasagi using bombs to bomb that thing. It does have magic. I would recommend switching to Kane of Samari in that scenario. That's kind of the unfortunate thing is, like, when you only have Fighter Sword, it's not long enough to hit that switch from the other side, so you have to opt to use some other strats, but there's a big key.
What's it to, though? Ganon's
Tower!
Tower! We need that!
Well, that's good.
So it won't be a frantic search at the end here. Unless we're lacking a sword still. Which is entirely possible.
Alright, time to make that Paradox Cave trip over Mya. See what we got going on over here, and if we find the mitts, then we'll be able to knock out a bunch of Dark World stuff over here as well. Cape on the island. Interesting. My last tourney race had a cape on the island too.
Here's the question, though. Do you go for it, or hope you find the Master Sword later?
Oh, you're right. That cape has more than one use at this point. Because whenever I see that, I'm just like, Spike Cave. Could go do that. But you're right, that cape could lead to something in Aga Tower, and they do have an extra Castle Tower key. So, you might have to go get that. Because there could be a sword up there.
Could be the lamp. No, actually, couldn't be the lamp there. But regardless, they don't have the lamp still. They'd have to navigate a maze.
Yeah, but that maze ain't too hard. If you have, because there are torches scattered around. Oh, there's a sword and the lamp. Okay. Swamp Palace, the big play. So that's big for Kepasagi. So
I guess then that kind of puts Castle Tower on the table now that we know where the cape is. And the boots! Got the PF Flyers now. We're gonna be rolling.
So, missing that lamp isn't that bad for Ack, but missing that sword... Desert?
Big key to desert. Small key to Palace of Darkness. That's the 6th and final one.
Still need that bow. And a fire shield. Alright, well. That trip up Death Mountain was definitely valuable. And I wonder if Ack is going to just go ahead and go to desert, because he does have, all of a sudden he has the boots now. He's going to go probably check some Bonk Rocks and he can't check King's Tomb unless he goes to the Dark World.
Meanwhile, on Kepasagi's side, I hope you don't like fast menu times.
Yeah, 2 slashes each, or if you can get a spin-off.
Oh, wait. He found a sword somewhere along the way.
Yeah, it was right next to Lamp. There's always a sword in Swamp Palace. Always.
Red boomerang on Axe side in the Bonk Rocks cave. So much hate for those magical boomerangs I've noticed.
They're nice early. At this point, they're not very useful.
Yeah, but I see it. I see it in Link to the Past Rando, and I even see it in Zelda 1 Rando. A lot of people like to forego that. Poor magical boomerang.
If boomerang's like the first item I get in Z1R, I grab it because being able just to stun enemies just to get by them is so necessary, but that's also because I'm bad at the game.
Even if it's the junk magical one?
Even if it's the... Oh god, speaking of junk magical one, we got the Thieves Town small key off of Argus. Oh, well, that's actually kind of good for Kepasagi, because they still have to go back and kill Blind, since they did die to Blind. But...
That's still a single item location, though. That's not something you want to go back for.
I want to see Kepasagi go up to Death Mountain, because at least double backing back into that chest for Thieves Town is a little bit quicker when you do have that boot. Single boot. Also, Kepasagi's going to need to go back into the sewer chest in Hyrule Castle to get that book as well, which is now in sequence for Kepasagi. So, and that looks like what they're going to be doing. Ack is root. Okay. Pod is a crystal, so those 6 keys are going to be coming in handy. Ack going for the single chest check in Swamp Palace. And there's your 4th bottle. And no keys. Sorry, Ack. Oh no, he didn't
That's
realize
right,
it.
he never went to Pod yet!
Oh, that's unfortunate. It's one thing to, like, make the crazy play to check that one chest. It's another to miss... not even realize that you didn't have the key for it. But it looks like we're going to be seeing a Desert Palace play from Ack now, so... I like the double old man on Kepasagi's side. Very Twilight Zone-y. Yep.
I guess he's saving the Desert Cave check for last. I don't blame him for that.
Ooh. What if that small key right there was to Desert? Now, Ack does have the Desert Palace big key, so he will be able to complete the dungeon and check what's on the big chest. But that'd be great if that Desert Ledge was the small key to Desert. That'd be perfect.
Nothing so far in Desert.
Kepasagi about to pick up their boots. Gotta be feeling pretty good at this point.
Still nothing on Ack's side in Desert. Let's see if the big chest has anything useful. Quake! That might be needed. Although, with Meyer being pendant, we don't know how useful it'll be.
Alright, come on, Desert Palace small key, let's go. Come on. Oh,
Castle Tower is the other one.
lame. That's fine, whatever.
I have a feeling we're not going to go up to see Aghanim for the first fight.
Probably not. I doubt these players want to get that compass. Alright, Kepasagi now picking up their slew of small keys. I believe it was a Desert Palace big key, T-Rock small key, and Pod small key, as well as... Was it Pod small key? Yeah, it was. Alright, half magic fire rod. Easy land Mulla fight.
The only way it would be easier is if there was a bow, because we do have silvers.
That's very true. Still looking for that bow. I wonder where it's gonna be.
At this rate, I'm compelled to say it could be an ice.
Could very well be. But that leads to the question, where's the mitts?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Ack's gonna have to
with the
grab
lamp-
some hearts here.
But with the lamp, it could be... It suddenly puts the opportunity for Mitz to maybe be in Palace of Darkness?
Yeah, in the Dark Maze or the 2 downstairs. Ack not getting the land Mulla spawns that he wants, but takes him out on the second attempt. And grabbing another map. to Ice Palace, which we already know is one of our crystals, and there's the last pendant. So our pendant dungeons for today are Desert Palace, Skull Woods, and Misery Mire.
So we may indeed need that Quake medallion.
So T-Rock is a crystal now, so which is good because they did get the Ice Rod already. But this might very well be a fluteless seed.
I always kind of get a kick out of weird seeds that have like items that you would love to have and help you get to places quicker, not available. Does that make sense?
Mirrorless seeds or fluteless seeds, just to make for interesting routing options.
I remember seeing a seed in the spring tournament last year where it was mirrorless, fluteless, and also bootless.
Ugh. That sounds like all kinds of awful, but entertaining at the same time.
It was fun to watch.
Where's Ack off to next?
I think it's the pod play.
Yeah. I guess this is still relatively... Yeah, this would be faster than... He doesn't have the flutes. Oh, and he wants to get in the hobo check, since he died on the way there.
Hobo doesn't have anything useful, though, so...
Yeah, might get him a full health refill. Oh, and he does still have that mushroom that he found on Spec Rock. I don't know if he checked that one yet. Which, for Kepasagi, is within sequence now.
I'd have to imagine Ack is putting off the mushroom until after he finds the flute, or he wants to save it for the Bat Cave to do that glitch.
Oh, that's true. He could do that right now if he wanted to. Kepasagi picking up there. Ganon's Tower, big key. And making their way through this dungeon. See what kind of Molder fight we get out of them, if we're going to be seeing 6 Fighter Sword slashes or the 3 hammer slashes. And by slashes, I mean bonks. We are going to get a Sahas Rallo check with that green pendant. Let's see if he has any value for us today. Nope.
Probably the most second useless compass in the game.
So let's take a look at what items we still need. We still need the bow. We might need another medallion for T-Rock. We still need the Eastern Palace, Palace of Darkness, Ice Palace by logic, and T-Rock big keys. So we still need quite a few things. And depending on what the next few things we find, you know, see if this could potentially still be a pedestal required seed to get that Skullwood's big key.
Man, I have to say, like, pedestal seeds that lead you to that are basically essentially fetch quests are the worst. I've had one before and it's not fun.
Yeah, it's like I think I had a tourney race there was a mushroom on there. I was like, I'm not getting that. No way. And it was never required, but it's like, I'm a fun guy. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're not a fun guy. I will not be hanging out with a fun guy.
But Mario is fun.
It's just like when you see a fetch quest at Lumberjack in like a non-Keysanity run, or just in general. You're like, do I go for the Aga play to see if this is required, or... Oh, and Kepasagi taking a spill from Moldorm.
To be fair, I'm kind of one of those people that isn't afraid of making the Aghanim play, even if it isn't required in a standard seed.
You never know. It might be the big gamble that pays off. Yeah, Kepasagi taking down Moldorm. I failed to mention that he does have the Master Sword, so only 3 spins to take him out. It's Ack that is still sitting on Fighter Sword, which we know where the other sword is. It is in Swamp Palace in the hookshot section. And Ack about to go find his Swamp Palace small key right here, I believe, or in the chest below.
Were these dark rooms checked by Kepasagi, or did he forego them?
Foregoed. Blue rupee. And the ball!
The ball! Holy crap, that is huge!
Oh, Lord. What a video game.
Ag is sitting pretty right now.
That's gotta hurt for Kepasagi. That's why you gotta learn dark rooms. You never know when having that knowledge is gonna pay off. And it's paying off huge, because he's gonna be able to finish this entire dungeon. He has all 6 keys. He has the bow now.
So no double dip required if you followed the logic. Broke sequence, that rather.
Yeah. Well, the game still... It was a required double dip by the logic. Because you had to get that small key to go into Swamp to get the lamp to come back into here. As well as a few pod keys scattered around. I don't know if there were pod keys locked behind lamp elsewhere as well, but that is huge. And Ack's probably feeling pretty good about himself right now.
I think I heard money being counted on Ack's side, meaning he picked up a rupee. And I see the big key to Turtle Rock from the power chest.
He doesn't have the he doesn't have the big key. Never mind. So we're not done here yet. He still has to go check the right side. But this is going to be a double dip unless he finds the pod big key in here. Always forget about that one.
Kepasagi, meanwhile, opting to pick up the red mail.
You know, it's always good to recognize where you're at as a player, skill-wise, execution-wise. If you feel comfortable doing, you know, blue mail, skipping out on potions, stuff like that, go for it. But it's better to, like, be prepared and go into fights and get them done the first time than to keep flinging yourself at a boss over and over and dying a bunch.
Absolutely. Another key to Turtle Rock.
So that's 3 for T-Rock. We have the big key for that as well.
And we have both rods and a medallion, so potentially we can go in and do that.
It looks like Ack's going to be going right into Swamp. He's going to get his Master Sword and Lamp. The question is, where is that pod big key? Where's the mitts? Oh, man.
Yeah, that's right. We can't go into Turtle Rock quite yet for that.
So what the heck do we have left at this point?
Potentially another medallion and maybe the flute at best.
Well, we've seen everything in Swamp. So that Thieves Town big chest might be on the table. And remember, we got that off of Argus. So that's it's not a fun one to go get. I'm just trying to remember. We can go do King's Tomb. Well, have we seen Graveyard Ledge in King's Tomb yet? I don't think so.
We've seen Graveyard Ledge, but not King's Tomb.
Okay.
Ack had the opportunity to do that, but did not.
I think he didn't have the boots yet at that point. That was probably why. Well, we'll just have to wait patiently and see what we got going on next. Oh yeah, I remember he did Graveyard Ledge and then he went to Catfish.
So this will be a new check from Kepasagi's side then. Wouldn't it be something if the King's Tomb held the flute here and we needed to get into the mire area?
Yeah, unfortunately we still need to find those mitts before we can do anything in the mire area.
Oh yeah, you're right. A lot of things handicapping us right now.
Yeah. Late mitts is always... It's like late mitts and late hammer are always weird scenarios.
Like hookshot is the one that hangs me up the most.
I can't do anything right now. I mean, hookshot, you know, only leads to a few extra things compared to like mitts, but yeah, it's still like, especially when you get those seeds where it's like pendant swamp. It's like, when do I get my hookshot to beat the game? Please, video game.
Well, to be fair, I'm one of those people that has hookshot as their comfort item. Always have to have it equipped.
It is my favorite item in the game, for sure.
It's just because it kills so many things.
Kills, stuns, and moves you around quite a bit.
It's
Yeah, only a Meyer small key in that King's Tomb, so I'm thinking it's gotta be that Thieves Town. It's gotta be that Thieves Town big chest. Oh, nice use of that red boomerang that you love so much. From Ack's side.
Hey, I didn't say I love it. I just said that there's so much hate for it.
Last time I checked, you said you were in love with it, so, you know. But we are going to get a mushroom check, which I don't think we've seen yet, so... Slightly different routing allows Kepasagi to sneak this in prior to going to Catfish, which Ack didn't get to do because they didn't go up to Death Mountain until after they had already done this route. So this could be our next item. This could be the mitts right here. Oh, just a big
But
point.
it isn't.
Ah, that's disappointing.
Search continues.
Goodbye, bee. Wasn't even a good bee.
Kepasagi making his way up to the Lake of Ill-Omen to get his map from the Catfish.
Well, here's the thing. If Thieves Town Big Chest ends up having something, that's going to be huge for Kepasagi simply due to the fact that they died to blind and have to go back in there anyway. But Ack has been clearing the game so much quicker and so much more efficiently that there's a good chance that regardless, he's not going to be too far behind. Like, he's going to run out of stuff to do before... But if the mitts are there, then that means it's 100% vanilla mitts. Oh, gosh. Please. That'd be hilarious.
That sounds like the kind of thing that commentators like us would want. Something vanilla.
I had a vanilla Kana Samaria in a race I did last night. So, it does happen.
You poor thing.
And not only that, but you had to do Agate Tower to get the Bombos medallion from Lumberjack to get into Meyer. It was great.
I think I was actually watching that race last night.
It was fun. I lost by 21 minutes. Alright, well, let's see. This might be either Kepasagi's Skullwood's Redemption or that trip into... probably going to be Skullwoods because Kepasagi hasn't done the Fire Rod section at all, so there's still, potentially 2 chests back there. And there's the Master Sword and Lamp for Acktheboker, so now he is back in sequence.
Looking like Kepasagi is indeed going back to finish off Thieves.
Oh man, let's hope that they remember to go check that chest. I can't imagine them not checking it. Probably stopping for a second, realizing that they have the small key. Let's see if they head to the back. Please do. I want to see what it is. If it's not the mitts, though, what could it possibly be? I don't think it can be...
Maybe the magic powder or shovel that leads to something?
That's true. Oh, well, we'll see. You might go back in after killing Blind. Want to take advantage of those sword beams while you can. Yeah, very nice work by Ack. Having a bit of a quicker first phase of Argus, and then going for silver arrows to take him out.
Technically, what we're looking for could be in the castle tower chests, because those are now on the table.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That is very true. And I feel like Ack would opt to check those 2 before going back into Thieves Town.
Kepasagi getting it on the second try, getting his map to the castle. We know where it is. Big question now is, will he remember?
Will Kepasagi check that big chest in the back.
He remembers!
All right, well, this is going to be interesting. One of these routes is going to pay off. The other one is going to either also pay off in a different way or not pay off at all. So,
meanwhile, looking like Axe making the castle tower play on his side.
Yep, for sure. It was also his first time to Pyramid, so he had to check to see what that was. So good routing on him, waiting until he could do castle tower first before going to Pyramid. It's one of those things, either you want to like route in Pyramid Fairy with Pyramid, or Castle Tower with Pyramid, or even Hyrule Castle with Pyramid if you have the mirror.
Would be pretty huge if the Palace of Darkness big key was right here.
Oh, for sure. Well, it's okay. Still got one more chance. Oh man, crazy.
Yes.
Dude, this is crazy.
Sorry.
Oh, just a heart container. So it's got to be the Thieves Town big chest. If this is vanilla, oh my gosh.
Would be pretty troll if it was vanilla. It'd also be pretty troll if it was a fetch quest.
Well, it looks like Axe gonna be making the play right away, so this is good for them.
Here we go! Oh! The bling gloves in vanilla location! Is this even randomized?
That's beautiful. Alright, well, Titan Mitts in hand, that opens up a ton of stuff. So all of a sudden we now have, you know, T-Rock access, we have Dark World, Death Mountain access, we have Ice Palace access, we can go do Peg Cave or Blacksmith. We have tons of stuff that we can do right now, and Axe gonna be making that play real quick. I think it's because he has literally nothing else he can do at this point. Maybe check Mushroom, that's it. Or King's Tomb, so...
This will also be good routing on his part, because after he gets his bling glove, he'll be able to get the Frogsmith and go sequence break for the Batcave.
Oh yeah, that is very true. Let's see what he does. Yeah, Kepasagi heading back to go fight Mothula. We already know that it didn't lead to anything of value, I think. There might have been a small key in the second chest in here. I don't remember. Might have been another pod key or something. But Kepasagi needs to, at some point, well, you know, if Kepasagi opts to do other routing and finds the sweet map dude, finds the pod big key before going back into pod, it's going to be able to save a little bit of time. But because of the Turtle Rock big key in there, there's a good chance that you might need to go into T-Rock to get the pod key or something silly like that.
I just thought of something incredibly evil, and I think it's in logic.
Let's hear it.
The Skullwoods big key leading to the big chest in Skullwoods, which has our Palace of Darkness big key. Would that be something?
So we'd have to get... We still need the Meyer big key.
And the flute.
And the flute. And a medallion, potentially. It's possible. We got time. I'm not gonna rule it out. We'll have to wait and see. Ooh, Kepasagi, gotta be careful. He does have a fairy in a bottle, so even if he takes a death, it's not gonna be the end of the world. But opting to use that blue potion instead, just to save that fairy for later. And
looking like Ack is gonna indeed get the fake powder glitch with the way he emptied his magic out before getting his bling glove.
Nice. Dude, I feel like every single time you use a potion or like die, it's always the very next hit that kills Mothula. Like every time.
I know that feel all too well, especially if it's a fairy you end up using. It's annoying.
Picking up the chicken. Good work. Yeah, with Ack with the Titan Mitts, it only feels comfortable to go ahead and just do the nearest thing that also requires Titan Mitts. We'll see if he opts to do Purple Chest as well. Probably. Trying drop that off, and then can head save and quit. Probably go up to Dark World, Death Mountain.
But what about fake powder?
Well, yeah, after that, still in the same route. Well, I guess he could get the chest, go in the Dark World, or yeah, whatever. Save and quit, and go turn in the purple chest. It's usually the route to take if you don't have the flute. Yeah, Kepasagi making the Dark World play. Oop.
Yeah, we haven't seen this side yet. We're going to see Super Bunny and Hookshot Caves. And potentially also the medallion requirement for T-Rock, since we need that.
So for anyone wondering, basically, if you drain all your magic, you use the Key to Samaria, you hear that and you, oh my god, there's a shovel. And you pause and switch to either the mushroom or even the powder. Works for powder too. For some reason, it tricks the game into thinking you have powder, and will actually just do the powder animation and act as if you're using powder, which allows you to do the Batcave without actually needing the powder at all. It is a sequence break, but it's a pretty fancy one. And there's the flute and Super Bunny, so that's terrible.
We better hope we don't need Meyer.
Alright, for Kepasagi's sake, they need to find that pod big key now, before they dive too far into the game. Because they might dive into T-Rock without the big key. Sweet Shovel Dash. Tempered Sword. Alright, there's some value. Wow, that's actually really big. With that sequence break, oh my gosh. There's a good chance that Kepasagi's not going to get that sword. If Powder ends up being, like, in G-Tower or something.
Yeah, which would be huge.
That is amazing. Pod? Oh,
Eastern.
Oh. Well, that's still 2 more chests you can check. Who knows? Pod Big Key could be sitting in the Eastern Palace big chest. But, looks like Kepasagi's gonna go opt to check that, or get that, cape, and might opt to also go to Spike Cave as opposed to go into T-Rock.
Meanwhile, Ack getting the blue boomerang from the purple chest. Looked like those are pull some frustration from trying to find the path to get across.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting so far. We don't pretty tough to tell who's in what sort of position right now.
Ack, what are you doing?
That is a good question. He's already done the Houlihan play. Why did he do that?
I think he was just trying to dash to get into the water to go to check the mushroom and accidentally fell in the hole. So that's hilarious.
Ooh, we have Quake on Turtle Rock.
Quake was in... Wasn't it in Pod? In one of the dark rooms? Or where was that? Oh, getting a magic refill. Didn't even check the mushroom. Alright, so no pod big key for Kepasagi, but let's see if they, after activating the flute, if they're gonna go, probably go check the Mire area and then hopefully go take out Eastern Palace to see what's going on over there. Quake was Desert Palace. Okay, so Kepasagi, yes. So that's kind of good. Not having the Quake Medallion from Desert, though Kepasagi does need to... Well, actually, no. No, they don't. They have the flute, they have the mitts, they have the mirror. They don't need that book anymore to get into Desert.
Yeah, they're all set.
And if this is a Mire check, it might also... Mire area check, it might also turn into a Desert Palace check.
Doesn't look like they're immediately doing it, though.
Yeah, probably going to do Blacksmiths first, and then, you know, route in Purple Chest into Desert, Mire, or whatever.
Meanwhile, looking like Ack is gonna make the play for Turtle Rock. He does have 3 keys. He'll be able to get all of it except for the big key chest.
I feel like there's always a good chance that there's going to be a vanilla T-Rock key in T-Rock. It seems to be like the most likely scenario for whatever reason.
I've seen it happen, so it's not too far from being possible.
He's going to go get his flute and Eastern Palace big key first, and then let's see if he decides. I still have a feeling that Pod big key might be in T-Rock at this point. And, you know, he might opt to wait to go back to do Eastern once he can do Pod into Eastern to finish it out.
Well, it could be in Pod East. It could be here in T-Rock. It could be in Ice. Could be in Mire if we can get into it with Quake.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't know yet, though, if this is a 1 medallion seed.
Alright. Going to make the T-Rock play. Unless this is... He might do like T-Rock into Spike Cave. Not going to be getting that cape. Plenty of health.
It would technically be in logic, though, if he picked up the cape.
Mm-hmm. At this point, we are still looking for the Pod big key, and by logic, the Ice Palace big key. But if we find the Pod big key, then that would actually put Ack in, dare I say it, go mode?
He still needs his bow. Or wait, you're talking about Ack.
Yeah.
Alright, right. Mire is Ether, so no 1 medallion seed here. What do we got in this shed? A piece of heart. And a small key to Turtle Rock. That's the 4th one.
So the game wanted you to go get the flute, to go get that key to come back up to T-Rock. That's stupid.
Let's hope it doesn't lead to anything needed.
Yeah, more than likely Ack's going to end up skipping that vanilla big key chest, so for his sake, let's hope there's nothing in there. Alright, well, let's hope Kepasagi's probably going to go into Desert now, and we'll more than likely full clear it, at least to the best of their abilities. They don't have that Desert Palace small key, but they can go fight Landmolars. Fortunately, it does only lead to a pendant. Yeah, for Kepasagi's sake, I wonder where that powder is to get the shovel, to get the Tempered Sword.
Very nicely done on Ack's side with the Chomp Room. There's a small key to Desert Palace for his effort.
Oh, T-Rock is such a long dungeon when you full clear it. It's the worst.
I don't know. Some people like to say that Mire is the worst. Others like to say T-Rock is the worst. Personally, I'm of the opinion that I just don't like Skull Woods the most because Wall Masters.
It's a very good reason.
Have
you had the privilege of playing some of the Randomizer races where Wall Masters can be basically anywhere, like the room right outside of Aghanim 2, or the room right before you fall into Cold Stare? That makes those dungeons even better.
No, I haven't done Randomizer yet, and you kind of are making me gun-shy to do it.
It's been fun. On the daily races that we had leading up until the tournament, we had at least one Randomizer a week, and we didn't really have any say over where the wall masters spawned, but the people playing the seeds had plenty of things to say about those seeds.
I can't imagine them not being anything very savory to say on here.
Look, you just got to be prepared, all right? Just got to be prepared that there's a wall master anywhere.
Except the overworld, because that soft locks the game.
They could even be in Link's house. No, they cannot. Actually. No.
In the Mimic Cave we have more love. That fills up Axe hearts, though.
13 hearts is a pretty safe place to be.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, pretty healthy seed.
Kepasagi also missing... Ooh, missing it again, so it's going to be a 3-cycle for them. Alright, where's that pod big key for go mode for Ack?
This would be a night and day difference from the last race I called, where go mode is about an hour 30 in.
Nope. There's some more money. Money's always good.
By logic, I don't think it would be on the laser bridge, because he doesn't have the mirror shield. Although, it's still in logic because of the cape.
Yeah.
Opting to skip the magic refill. Probably gonna get the one right before the door. Nothing so far on Laser Bridge.
Looking good.
Yeah. We got 3 qualities winners here on the Laser Bridge. Make that 4 out of 4.
Alright, Kepasagi going to be going the Ice Palace play. They do have the Fire Rod. They don't have the big key. Let's see if they do the bomb jump or not.
Can I just comment for a moment? I really dig that cane dash. I can't do it, but it's very cool when you can pull it off.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. It's always good to have some style points here and there. Though I am going to take some points away from Ack for not doing the backdoor strats on Trinex here. But getting a very friendly pattern here.
Yeah, no kidding.
A lot of times, you know, he hugs the right side, so you have to, like, fight him from the right side, but he came right at him, so... But if Trinex ends up not holding anything, then...
Won't be able to get the quick kill.
What do we get out of this, other than just a crystal?
Big key to
yes.
Palace of Darkness.
All right. So more than just a crystal. Well, with that in mind, at hour and 28 minutes, 50 seconds, Acktheboker has more or less, quote unquote, unofficially hit Gomo. The only reason I'm saying that is because with the bomb jump in hand, you don't need the big key to finish Ice Palace. He will now get to go ahead and route in the pod Eastern play, which is really nice. Be able to do that at the same time. So good job on him saving Eastern until later so that you can do this route. So all he has left to do is go kill Armos, go kill Helma, and go straight to Cold Stare. And then is right up the G Tower. And that sequence, it's still that sequence break to get the Tempered Sword. Rarely you get to see the powder glitch actually pay off, so it's really nice when it does.
The conveyor belt room giving Kepasagi a tough time.
But yeah, oh, Kepasagi gonna be going for the bomb jump. Okay, good. He needs
Looks
to
like
move
he's
down
got it.
one more. Nope, he was one too high. You can tell because of the sword lineup. I don't know the lineups with all the different sprites, but the sword is always consistent, and that's good. So good. I was a little worried because they didn't do the dark rooms, but totally handling the bomb jump easy peasy. So.
It's always a sight to behold just to see someone just breeze right through Ice Palace.
A Go Mode Ice Palace is a nice palace. Look, he already has a spare key, so he doesn't even have to worry about killing that blue berry as well, which is even nicer. So, at this point, Ack looking to take this game over Kepasagi. Yeah. It's
At this
asking to
stage,
lose at
what
this
would it
point.
take for him to fall behind, or at least try and catch up?
No idea, but there's the big key. Wow, vanilla big key. Okay. Oh, that's funny. It wasn't 100% vanilla, but it was in its own dungeon, so that's cool. And a small key to G Tower. Not gonna be using that one. And another big key to Meyer. Well, hopefully... No, he still needs that Ether Medallion if he's gonna end up taking that bait, so that's good. So, for anyone wondering, Kepasagi needs to go back into Pod. That's it. He needs to go back into Pod and do the Dark Rooms to get the Turtle Rock big key. And I think there's another T-Rock small key in there as well. To go back up to T-Rock, to defeat it, get the Pod big key, and then go do Pod Eastern to finish it out. But yeah, beautiful cold stare by Ack. Real easy. Half magic, fire rod, tempered sword.
At least we're not seeing Ether here, because if we see Ether, it might give Kepasagi the wrong idea, and that would just be horrible.
Oh, for sure. He's got to make a decision if he wants to go up and check that tea room, and it looks like that is what he's going to go do. So there's still a chance Ether could be there. But yeah, I'm so curious where that powder is at this point. Because, like, the difference between Master Sword and Tempered Sword is pretty tremendous.
Pretty night and day.
Yeah, so, you know, in the end, Kepasagi might opt to search extra chests looking for that Tempered Sword.
I kind of find it curious that Ack opted to walk all the way here instead of fluting to 5.
Well, he never actually went and activated his flute. Because he hit Go Mode in T-Rock, so... He,
That's fair.
Never had a reason to, which is funny. It's like, thanks, useless flute. I mean, it's like the ocarina you get from Saria. Once you get the better one, you just ditch it. You just leave it alone. Just throw it on the ground. Ack just immediately threw it on the ground and went into T-Rock.
Do you think he would activate it after he beats Eastern, just so that he could get the fast track up to Death Mountain?
No. No. Just save and quit.
That's fair.
If it was like the Game Boy Advance version where you could flute right to T-Rock, maybe. But nah, he's just gonna save and quit.
Ah, yes, the fabled flute to 9 on the GBA version.
Alright, Kepasagi gonna have to be a little extra careful. Only has the Master Sword, so he's not gonna be able to get some extra hits in. Doesn't even go for the usual NMG strat of, you know, spinning and then slashing to put him in the corner. Don't really have to worry about too much when you have half magic. I think might still have that green potion from earlier.
I think he still has a blue potion too.
I know he used one in the Mothula fight, so I don't know if he went back and bought another one. Still has that fairy though.
Gets one down.
Oh, just barely misses the other one.
Gets another. Gotta be careful, though. He's got 2.5 hearts left.
There you go. Nice fight. So yeah, this seed was kind of a case of where doing dark rooms or sequence breaking dark rooms paying off big time. Just sequence breaking in general in the seed was good because, you know, it got Ack the Tempered Sword, it got him the bow, it got him the T-Rock Big Key.
Got him a book, but it wasn't really useful today.
True, but he was able to get the Quake Medallion, so we didn't have to go up to T-Rock or up to Death Mountain, get the flute and Super Bunny Cave, then go activate the flute, and then all that stuff. But yeah, at the same time, it's like he would have had to have gone to, you know, back to Hyrule Castle at a later point. Which, you know, when he went to do Agate Tower, he could have done it then. So yeah, you got a point there.
I suppose at the very least he got the information that nothing useful was going to be found at the pedestal or the tablets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're never going to get that Skull Big Key, unfortunately. And speaking of unfortunate, Kepasagi heading up to Turtle Rock without that Big Key. Won't be able to get that pod Big Key from Trinex or finish the dungeon. I mean, you got to be thinking, well, where was that 6th pod key? What has Kepasagi not done? They gotta be thinking that Bo's gonna be in T-Rock or something.
Meanwhile, Ack is too cool for pods. He just shoots the invisible enemies with silver arrows.
Yeah, the timer started on time, so I think it was just a case of either Axe is running too fast or Kepasagi's is running too slow. Which, you know, we still have the SRL time, so it's all based on that. The timers on screen are just for aesthetics. But we'll have to bring that up with runners to let them know that one of their clocks is running slow or too fast.
Maybe there was an inadvertent keybind to one of their controllers?
Nah, I think it's just the internal clock on their PC is running not optimally or not accurately. It's not the first time we've seen this, so
I guess that's true. So long as we have things, you know, all set and good early on.
Yeah, well, that's why we do everything based on SRL time when you done instead of the timers, because, you know, imagine if you finish a race and there's like a minute between the two players, but their timer says something differently, and you're like, but hold on. Yeah, with that, Ack has all the crystals that he needs, and he's going to be heading up to G Tower now. He doesn't even need to look. We're probably going to see a 0 out of 27 chests open in G Tower at this point. Or not at all. I don't even think we've gotten the G Tower compass, so.
At this point, what more would you want? Like, maybe more health? Sure.
I think Ack is good to go. There is absolutely nothing he's going to need from here on out. And we've seen that from him skipping just every chest possible in, like, Ice Palace. And didn't even get the Big Key in Eastern Palace, or Big Chest. If he was still on Master Sword, he might be checking some. But I think even Ack is comfortable doing Master Sword Silvers, no doubt. It's a good option to have in case of the rare Master Sword Silver Ganon, or even Master Sword Silverless. That's why I really recommend anyone playing the game that wants to, you know, practice, to check out the practice hack, because it allows you to fight all these bosses or play the game with different sets of inventory, different equipment.
Yeah, it's quite handy. Literally, the first thing I did when I downloaded the practice hack was practice the Ice Palace bomb jump, because that's something you need to have in your back pocket if you're ever going to run this game.
Oh, for sure.
Be it for NMG or Randomizer.
And it's got a bunch of presets, so like you can load up, and it'll load you up right at the start of Hammer Jump. So, kind of takes the whole save states thing out of there.
Yeah, it's a bit more handy though to play on actual hardware as opposed to emulation.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you could still put it on a SD2 SNES and play it that way, like how a lot of the console players play Randomizer. Like, I believe that's how Acktheboker is doing it as well. I believe he is on console. And soon enough, I will be on console as well.
I would love to be on console, but unfortunately, it's just not in the cards currently.
It's pretty expensive, depending on which route you go. I mean, SD2 SNES is like $180 to $200. Oh, and Kepasagi checking that vanilla big key chest in T-Rock. Fortunately, you know, he's not going to be able to finish this dungeon anyway, and he's going to be going to Pod, which has, I believe, the last T-Rock small key. Or no. Yeah. Wait. I don't remember. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because Ack found the third one in Pod, and then Kepasagi found their third one, but it was the fourth one overall in the Mire Shed. Pretty smooth gauntlet from Acktheboker so far. It's really easy in this section for enemies to kind of get away from you.
Yeah, especially if you don't have boots.
Yeah, it's nice having half magic and Fire Rod though. Since the Fire Rod moves so quickly, they don't really have a chance to get out of the way, as opposed to like using arrows or something.
Setting up for the Lamellus quick kill. Gets one, gets two, gets them all.
Nice. Good patterns. Ding.
Ack making his way to the second Wizrobe room. This is always a tricky one, I find.
It's pretty straightforward. Place block, hit block, / Wizrobe. Easy peasy. But it's also easy to mess up. For sure.
Exactly.
I've had the worst case scenario for me is like going in there with only 3 hearts and green mail, and you go to slash the last one and he smacks you with a beam and kills you.
And you don't have mirror shield?
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Kepasagi sitting on that screen, probably thinking about what the next play is. They need to go to Pod. That's it. That's all there is to it. Pod has their answer. But this is looking like an Aggthetower play. Well, it's also worth noting that there is a new console that came out called the Super NT. It's a HDMI Super Nintendo. It's already been tested. It's already been, as far as I know, approved for randomizer races. And so if you already have like an HDMI capture card and you can play it on your normal desktop monitor, you can use that as well. I think for now you still need to get an SD2 SNES in order to play games on it, like the randomizer and stuff like that, but that's going to be the route I'm going to go because I still have my HD capture. But anyway, sorry. Aga 2 coming up. Acktheboker. Let's see. Give me that double triple, baby. Well, you
Not
tried.
today.
Ugh. Awful pattern. Ooh. Some spicy angles.
Gets a double at least there.
Alright, not bad. That 4 cycle.
It's almost time for some bacon-covered nachos now.
Coming up, we got Tempered Sword, Silver Ganon. So let's see if Ack ends up getting some good patterns from Ganon. If he goes up the top left or top right for phase 2, he'll be able to just swing on him. And let's see how good his NMG strats are here. At least for the first few phases. And unfortunately, Kepasagi going to be going to get that book, which will probably send them on a wild goose chase checking the tablets.
Meanwhile, we have cheese facts from Ganon to talk about today.
Yo, going for dash strats. Dude, that looks so good. I feel like you can only do that well and make it look that good when you're on console. Ooh, but he's got to be careful. He does, I believe, have a fairy in a bottle. But he's opting to just use his potion right away instead of facing the death. Potential death. But that was clean.
I don't know. I'm one of those people that likes to hold on to their blue potions until I absolutely need them.
It's a heart and a half. He was at a heart and a half. Unless you're talking about, needing magic, but he does have half magic. He doesn't even need to do the torch glitch. And he misses it anyway. It's gonna set up a triple right here, maybe a double. Nope, too slow. Oh! Fire bat to the face. I like the effort. Those torches not really working out for him, but with that, Acktheboker does take down the big pig. Ganon is dead, and as soon as he walks through that door, we will have our victor in this tourney race.
And there we go. Acktheboker is the winner and finishes with an official SRO time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 3 seconds.
GG! Good fight. Good run. Those sequence breaks really paying off for Ack. And those... It was if Kepasagi had just done the dark rooms when they were in pod the first time, both the back and the hammer jump, to do the two in the maze, or they didn't even have to hammer jump because they did have a small key going in there. It might have been a little bit closer of a race because they would have got that bow and they would have got that T-Rock big key. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and see if Ack wants to pop in and have a little chit-chat with us fine folks here.
Certainly looks that way.
So we can yell at him for sequence breaking too much. What a jerk.
But it worked out.
Dude, that tempered sword, though, that never happens. It never happens.
But when it does, it's glorious. Am I right or am I right?
When it does, it's great. I think the only time it's ever worked out for me was I got mitts from it, which was amazing. But then the powder was immediately like the next thing I found, so it didn't even matter anymore.
And now joining us is the winner of this race, Acktheboker. Welcome, Ack. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. GG.
Yo, talk about sequence breaks, dude. You had plenty of them, and they, for the most part, all were very, very generous.
My fake flipper sequence break didn't pay off very well for me, though.
Can't win them all, right?
Yeah. You got your one death out of the way, so that's good. Well, incidental death.
The dark room was kind of a red herring, I think, because you got the book out of that. But the, I think, fake powder to shovel to the third sword, that was really nice.
Yeah, we still haven't seen another sword since, and we haven't even seen the powder yet. But aside from that, it was really the pod dark rooms that paid off huge for you. Finding the bow and the T-Rock big key.
Oh, right. Yeah, because, man, I was actually almost 100% certain that the lamp was on Pyramid at that point, but Yeah, technically it wanted you to go and just get the swamp small key to go into swamp and get the lamp to go back to pod.
Mhm.
To get the TR big key to go to TR to get, the stuff to finish that dungeon.
Yeah. It was interesting because, well, there's the single arrow out of the big chest in Eastern. It was interesting because Kepasagi, I think as soon as they got into the Dark World, they did Hype Cave, Pyramid Pod. But they had 3 or 4 keys at the time, I think, something like that. Maybe 3, one of the 2. But they opted to not check any of the dark rooms, so they missed that bow, they missed the T-Rock big key, and so just now they're actually in Eastern, and we'll probably go pop into pod afterwards.
Did he have a sword yet?
At the time, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because there was the one sword. Oh, actually, you
forget
might be
where the
right.
first-
They might not have, because they did Skullwoods relatively later than you did.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't Skullwoods. It was just like right there. I was like, well, I guess I'll go kill Moth.
Yeah. It was also interesting because they were the first ones to get the Titan mitts, but you weren't too far behind because you'd already like full cleared everything you could leading up to it. Kepasagi skipped out on taking out Blind, or going into the back half of Thieves Town the first time. Didn't go kill Mothula the first time they were in Skullwoods, and then died fighting Blind when they went back second time. Left, and then came back a third time to fight Blind and get the Titan mitts. So,
Ouch.
just a few, time saves along the way of you being able to just go ahead and finish dungeons the first time you were there. Adds up over time. But, there was a interesting seed towards the end there for you. You find the flute and Super Bunny, and you're like, oh gosh, please no.
That's pretty much what I was thinking, yeah.
And but then T-Rock is available, and all of a sudden you get the pod big key and essentially go mode from Trinex, and then you're like, all right, sweet, I don't need the Ice Palace big key, which funny enough was in Ice Palace. It was in the right side.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So overall, what else what'd you think about the seed?
It was one of the nicer Keysanity seeds I've had. I actually didn't believe I was in go mode just because I was like, it's too good to be true. I think I looked at my menu a few times just to double check because I was like, I'm going to go mode all these dungeons, and I forgot something dumb. I know the first time I went into Swamp, I forgot I didn't have the small key.
Oh yeah, we saw that. We thought you were just making a crazy play of checking that first chest, and then you walk over to the door and you're like, nope, this was a mistake.
I probably would have made that play anyways, but I just kind of forgot about that being a thing.
Didn't even get to see Meyer. No ether.
Yeah, we still haven't seen that. Yeah. We still haven't seen Powder. Kepasagi did just get their Turtle Rock big key, but they still missed that bow and pod, which isn't that big of a deal because they're gonna go up, kill Trinex, get the big key, and then go right back into pod. And we'll get it eventually.
Well, hopefully he didn't spend all of his keys. Actually, I think that was key locked. I had 6 the time I was in there. I thought that was really strange too.
I think Kepasagi is still lacking 1 pod key. I'm not sure where it is. I'm also... This is kind of scary. Okay, no, they did get the Turtle Rock small key in pod, so they will be able to... Because they opened up the middle chest in T-Rock.
We have a Spike Cave check coming.
They did get another small key for T-Rock in the Mire Shed. So they're good. But sitting at 2-1, how you feeling about your chances for round 4? It's gonna be pretty tough overall.
Wow. It doesn't matter. Keysanity is just an insane mode. You never know. You can get. There's so many good people that are going to be 2-1 also, and then you can just get a seed that's just absolutely crazy or doesn't work out in your favor, and then it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really even matter how good you are at the base game if you spend an extra 10 minutes following the wrong route. Though it doesn't hurt to have that abilities though, because basically anyone that dies to multiple bosses probably doesn't have a chance of winning a race unless their opponent also dies to multiple bosses.
I don't know. I almost missed the GT Big Key in Hera too, because I just skipped over that chest, and I was like, "Wait a minute! I feel like I forgot something here." I mean, that would have added a substantial amount of time to my run.
Oh yeah, for sure. We were yeah, I was wondering because you did that last, right at the end of Hera. Like, did he forget this, or was this by choice?
It was by
hard to tell.
choice at the beginning, and then I was just like, and then after I was going to do Tile Room, I was going to check it just to do something different. And I guess I'll never do that again because I forget things about 5 seconds later. So.
Oh, for sure. As soon as you like change from your muscle memory, it's so easy to just be like, yeah, I already did that. I'm out. Bye. So good thing you didn't forget that. Otherwise, we might see Meyer right now somehow.
Yeah, they're doing everything, and then may or may not have remembered I didn't check it. Yeah, that would have been fun.
Oh man, we could have seen a full clear of G Tower. Darn.
Yeah, that too. Oh lord.
Guess we'll never know if all the other things are up there.
I'm sure there's a sword in there somewhere. There's gotta be. Or powder. Where's powder?
Or ether.
Or ether. Where's ether? What'd you think when you saw the pedestal item?
I don't know. It kind of made me a little bit happier I had killed Moth, I guess, because I was like, you know what, this could be something. Like, I don't mind stuff on the pedestal when I've, already cleared the penance.
When you go watch it back, you'll have to forgive our artificial excitement because we thought it was the key to the Palace of Darkness.
Oh, okay.
We read the part that said dark, not the part that said forest, and got excited. Which can't blame us, because when you see the word dark, you already associate that with Dark Palace. Because, yeah.
The verbiage was weird on that. I hadn't seen that before. I was like, wait, what is it? Oh, it's the key to the dungeon I just beat 2 seconds ago. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I need to personally go take a look and read all the pedestal titles just so I don't make that mistake again. But yeah, it's the first time seeing that one. And usually when you have Meyer or T-Rock as a pendant, you're kind of safe to assume that it's probably not going to be a pedestal seed. Unless you get like an early flute. But you never know. It's Keysanity, and sometimes everything comes down to that last chest you have to check.
Well, it did give you all the Skullwood small keys too, which is like, hey, maybe that dungeon's required, because I think you need to have both of the small keys for it to be logically completable.
Yeah, no, you do.
That was making I had it in the back of my mind, but like it just didn't really matter it that way. Like the flow of the seed was nice. I felt like for the most part, I was able to take care of things on my first trip there, except for I think like the forced double dips. But
yeah, the usual double dips that
the usual, yeah, double dip pod. I didn't have to double dip Turtle Rock, so what could I complain about?
Yeah, that routing that worked out really well, and that was just because of the thing is you went into you saved pod for like very late, which is pretty rare to do in this version, but you had all 6 keys the first time you went in there, so you could check everything comfortably. And then you find the bow in there, and you're like, all right, well, I guess I'll go ahead and check some more stuff.
Check the other 2, and then I was like, well, it doesn't surprise me the big key's not in here, but
but you had to go into pod in order to get the big key for pod into your rock, so just the game's artificial double dips, the forced double dips.
Those are pretty trendy too. It's either that or the other way around. You have to go into Turtle Rock to get stuff for pod, or go into pod to get stuff for Turtle Rock.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good thing they're right next to each other, so it's super convenient, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're literally just, you're just out one door and you're into the other one. It's not, a ridiculous process at all.
It would be too bad if this was like Entrance Shuffle and they're just like next to each other, 2 caves apart, up on Death Mountain or something.
Don't even get me started about Entrance Shuffle. Now I'm excited. Can we have that be the next tournament?
I want Swordless first, though.
We can add Swordless onto it. I don't mind.
I thought everyone was excited about wanting an Randomizer.
Let's just do it all. Let's make everybody happy, and by everybody I mean me. Let's add all the modes together.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster, and I love it.
Okay, well, real quick. Fortunately, Kepasagi did bail out on, I think it was pod, a little too early, And I think one of the keys down there was Eternal Rock keys, so they don't have the keys to kill Trinex at this point. So, unfortunately, going to be forcing themselves to do a triple dip of T-Rock. Ugh.
That is if they
That's
can
not
get
fun.
to this chest. Also, earlier, I couldn't help but notice that the blue cane was in its vanilla location.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
Is that where it normally is? Wow. That seems against the logic of Randomizer.
Cape to get Kane.
To add something else about Entrance Shuffle, if you haven't seen the new additions to it, they finally
The
managed
Super
to...
Entrance Shuffle?
Yeah, to add the single entrances to the multi-entrances. I can't stop playing it. It is the most fun mode now.
Is it officially out? Like, can I update the thing and do it?
I have a thing for it.
Yo, hit me up.
Yeah, man.
But real quick, unfortunately, Kepasagi has decided to forfeit from the race. So that will be it for us here on SG3 for this race. But congratulations to Acktheboker for taking this win and moving on 2-1 in the tournament. So Tourney Life's still alive. The dream is still alive. It appears that they had something IRL come up. So, and you know, that's 100% fair. You know, real life comes first for sure. So probably won't be able to come into an interview either. So we're just going to close up shop. And Ack, any final words about the seed or just about the tournament in general? Keysanity, anything?
Well, the Keysanity tournament, it's just nuts. It's crazy, but that's all of my final words on that. But yeah, thanks for the commentary and the restream as always, guys. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Always a pleasure.
No prob.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it here on Speed Gaming 3. For us, coming up at... there is a Link to the Past Keysanity race going on over on Speed Gaming 4. If you want to go watch that. At the top of the hour, which is an hour away, we do have a Zelda 1 randomizer tournament race, I believe, as well as a Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows over on SG2 starting in about 13 minutes. So you guys got options. Also, Ori going on over on SG1. But of course, big shout outs to y'all for watching. Shout outs to B-Links for tracking this race for us. Thank you very much. And of course, to Tay, crazy dude, for letting me come and chill with you and commentate.
No way. It was more of an honor for me. Like, I know you were one of the big names.
Stop it. I'm just a guy.
And while you're at it, please give both of our runners a follow too.
Yeah, if you liked what you've seen, hit us all up. Support us in any way you see fit. But most importantly, make sure to follow the Speed Gaming channels as well as the ALTTP Randomizer and the Randomania channels for all your Keysanity tournament needs. Yeah, it's going to do it for us here. And thanks for having us. See you guys next time. Bye.
Good night, everybody.